Hello everybody, we're just about ready to get into our first game, and it is going to be Iaguz versus KingK0ng in the first ever installment of the ASL-Bacon Infinity Championship Series. And today we are going to the Southeast Asian region. There we go. Let's see, this feels a little non-existent volume though. Boat, why don't you start us off?
Well, in the top left, in the baleen blue, we have the most favorite person that looks like that guy I can't remember the name of, Iaguz. that guy? Swan. That's it.
Swan.
Yeah, that's it.
And in the bottom right, we have our Team Exile 5 Zerg player, one of the strongest members of the region. It is KingK0ng. And I'm going to fix this sound because I could have swore.
I think it's on my settings. Because you have to switch everything over. I don't know. So we got some friendly exchanges going on, as well as some sound adjusting. And you can see the green letters add a nice touch to reading.
Yes, nice touch to the reading indeed.
So it looks like Iaguz is going to put down a command center anytime now.
Yep, the good old Reaper expand.
That's weird. I can listen at the same time.
Yeah. Reaper expand, probably the most popular, prevalent Terran build, like, since forever. Pretty much since the Reaper became good.
Yes. So this map is pretty interesting because it has that wide opening near the natural, and we've recently seen a lot of Terrans do this. I believe a sort of modified 1-1-1 push that starts off as sort of a light contain and often or sometimes ends up winning the game. Do you think Iaguz is going to do something like that?
It's very possible. I mean, it's been super strong lately, right? Like, we've been seeing it in Pro League, GSL, SSL, pretty much everywhere in the Korean leagues. Of course, going to start now with just that Reaper harassment, going to try and pick off anything possible.
Good defense so far, hasn't lost one lane. Or, like, if I were doing this, I probably would have lost, like, 2 of them already, like all of them.
Lose all the lanes to that single Reaper. Goes home, gets a medal.
KingK0ng getting that quick overlord speed. I really like how a lot of Zergs are doing this now. They're not kidding around. They want to get the scout in and out. Save it for later.
In, out, save it for later. And yeah, it's got like extra utility now too, now that the dropper lords or drover lords, however you want to say it, dropping overlords are so easy to get. So like before you'd have to get both of those upgrades and it would just take forever. Nobody really utilized it, but now if you just have to get the overlord speed and then end up getting the single drop pod, then it ends up being super, super strong.
This lane's rushing across the map here. There's not really anything to block them from getting in. And only 3 Marines. Well, with help of the SCVs, these lanes will be fended.
Nice micro.
Yeah, they're so good at that.
Such good control. It gets as many SCVs as possible, and that's actually quite a bit of damage for, what was that, like 8 lings?
It was a single-digit number.
It was definitely a single-digit number, and the other thing is, like, those lings, they were just around to defend against the Reaper, right? So it wasn't a big investment. It was just making the most out of what was around.
Blocking off the front now, and even including a bunker.
Yeah, gonna get real defensive here. I'm surprised because we don't see a single. Well, I was gonna say a single third CC, but that is kind of a strange sentence. We don't see a third, and usually our Terran players like to get that up real quickly. So do you think we're maybe gonna see like a 2-base push here?
I think we're going to see some light pressure for sure right now. And if Iaguz smells blood in the water, he may continue that. So the drop spotted by Lings. That was nice for KingK0ng there.
Yeah, that was a real nice find because an unspotted drop can absolutely wreck you. So they're going to be nice and easily defended. Those queens are picking away at those medevacs because they now do have that one extra range, which I suppose that could have something to do with Iaguz's playstyle here, where most Terrans really wanted to get Liberators quick and start doing some harassment, but now with the extra queen range and the spore buff, it's a lot less enticing.
Oh, that medevac!
Getting the one medevac.
That was great pickup for KingK0ng. Although they are supply locked, or they were supply locked for a little bit there.
Yeah, and losing that overload does not help, but making a bunch of them, 4 on the way, just making sure not to get supply blocked again for quite a while.
And Spire goes down for KingK0ng. Now I really like this just because I enjoy watching Mutalisk fly around and bounce back and forth, try and pick off one little thing at a time. You gotta really be paying attention to them, or else you can just accidentally fly over a little group of Marines and lose them all.
Exactly. You gotta be real careful. And it's nice to see that style coming back because the Lingbane Muta was kind of dead for a while. You saw it occasionally, but it was mostly Ravager, maybe even going into Infestor styles.
Well, the Infestor Ravager combination is so strong if you can hit it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. As Tasteless would say, it's the Battle Zerg. Really going to just force that engagement, get in their face instead of this light harassment Lingbane Muta style. And really, this all goes back to that Queen and Spore buff, because if Iaguz had a lot of Liberators on the map,
that one lane
almost got an SEV there, but it did not quite get the focus down. But yeah, if there were a bunch of Liberators on the map, going Mutas is immediately a lot less enticing.
Yeah, it's a lot less. Okay, I'm not gonna try and reword that.
But still, Iaguz being as annoying as he can with these drops. Is this Reaper getting in the medevac, or is it just following along? I haven't been fully paying attention. You don't often see Reapers go inside medevacs.
No, you don't. But you also don't really see Vikings do that too often. We definitely saw it a few weeks ago.
That's true. One of the strangest interactions in the game: landed Viking in a medevac.
So how many mutas does KingK0ng have right now?
Let's see. At the moment, 4, and they're just being banked up at the moment. So you can't really get that much done with 4 mutas, but once you get a flock of 6 to 8 out, then you can start chipping away at things. Maybe try and catch a drop off guard. Speaking of drops off guard,
that gets picked up really quick.
Yep, nice reaction time. Oh, gotta be careful with these Lings. Don't want to get taken out by the Widow Mines, but just picking one off and getting out of there. Was that a giant force stim, or was that just healing up from earlier?
Oh, it was a stim.
Okay, yeah. So burns a bit of the medevac energy. Not that it's a big issue at this point.
Looks like we got a drop coming in from the northeast.
Where is this drop?
It was like, you don't forget it. My vision is not amazing.
Well, here's a drop going out, taking out all these overloads. Those are completely undefended, so that's the drop Susan was talking about. And that's actually going to be a pretty big deal. KingK0ng taking an engagement at this point.
Oh, but the mutas and the Banelings roll in.
Nice engagement.
Quite a few connections there. All the Zerglings and Banelings get taken out, but the mutas are still... Oh, that hurt me. that Widowmine shot on those mutas. And they're being escorted by one corruptor. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe this corruptor is to deal with the eventual liberators that we're seeing increment out, but there's just one and right back into muta production. So like, is that a miss? Like, is that a miss hotkey situation? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if KingK0ng does eventually go into those extra corruptors.
Yeah, could be for what's the spell on it called?
Oh, the
acid building kill.
Yeah, the corruptor P.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Iaguz pushing in here, gonna set up a couple liberation zones, and meanwhile, Banelings rolling in everywhere. I think that base up at the top also lost a lot of SCVs.
Yeah, losing half a mineral line here, and these depots are gonna burn down if nothing's done about it. But at the same time, we got this drop going on in the natural. Drones are pulled, and Lings are taking damage as they sort of rally past. But this will get taken care of for now, at least. The mutas need to.
They might even be able to cut off that medevac.
We'll see.
It's so low. Oh, it's definitely getting taken out.
Yeah, definitely taken out. But Iaguz taking out this creep as well, and denying creep spread is huge in this matchup, particularly since we're going back to that Ling Bane style.
So +3 almost, or about halfway done there for our Terran player. And a huge group of Banelings rolling in, getting some nice connections. Well, they were hitting a couple Marauders at the front.
Yeah, nice positioning from Iaguz, even though he was on, in the ramp being choked out. Wing counterattack going down over here.
Baneling's ready to flame.
Nice Baneling connection, but I'm not sure if it's enough. This small bioforce is being super efficient at this point. But now with the Lings coming in, and the Baneling support, this has to get out of here.
That was so quick.
Yeah, but because of the mutas, it just can't get away.
And that one corruptor.
Yep, and the one corruptor, hero corruptor.
So that was that.
Yep, that is
GG.
Game 1. Game 1 goes to KingK0ng. So a nice, well-played game.
Over.
Sure. A nice, well-played game from both sides, really. We're getting to see a bit of that new Zerg style, which is actually old Zerg style, but it's coming back. One thing I kind of like about this is like going for mutas in the ZVT matchup. Sort of like it puts a lot more of a gas strain on you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with the like Roach Ravager sort of infestor style, then they were really just like, I'm going for Hive, I'm getting Ultralisk, but now you have to like make a bit of a decision. Like, do I want more mutas? Do I want to get a Hive?
Why can't we have both?
Why can't we have both? Yeah, you just got to take 6 bases with gas. 6 bases with gas. That'll help.
So we are going to be getting into our second game any time now, and this is going to be on Frost, one of the older maps. Also quite large.
Yep.
Has a very strained third.
Yeah. And is this currently the largest map in the pool?
I think so. I don't know what else would be larger.
I'm not really sure. Anyway, why don't you bring us in?
Well, did you change the screen?
I think so. Wait, let me double check that. Bam.
Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't trust you.
Yeah, I know. You're right not to trust me on that.
And in the bottom left, in the glowing red, it is KingK0ng.
Glowing.
I looked at my keyboard.
Nice. I'll do this one?
You're supposed to do the other one.
Okay, my bad. And in the bottom right, our blue Terran player, the dwarf, Iaguz.
Is Swan a dwarf?
No, but I forget which dwarf it is from Lord of the Rings. I believe he had him as like his Twitter picture for a while.
Okay.
Just another character with a giant beard.
Okay. So then couldn't he also be Gandalf?
He could be, but it's not really that type of beard, right? Like, Gandalf has a very, like, flowing, almost majestic beard, where this is, like, it's more of, like, it reminds me more of, like, a grizzly bear type of... I don't know where I'm going with this. It's more dwarf-like than wizard-like.
Okay.
Now, dwarf wizard, I don't know about.
Okay, well, anyway, it looks like we're having similar openings from both of our players. And Iaguz is actually going to scout correctly, which is always, really nice. Gives you a bit of an edge. You know where your opponent is. You get to see what's going on sooner rather than, like, if it was the third base you scouted.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like that always happens to me every single time.
And the other nice thing about that is, like, because there's a Reaper on the map, like, you would always get the Reaper to their base relatively quickly, no matter, like, which way you scouted. But the fact that you get the right scout gives you a little bit more of a chance to, maybe pick off a drone, maybe pick off a few lings, if they're not ready.
Just force them to use more APM than they want to. So 6 lings coming out. Let's see. Oh, pulling back that one injured ling. So slick. Oh, and so good at that.
The StarCraft Dance of Eternity.
It's like a ballet.
Yep.
Oh, but the queen's out now, so this will pretty much end the Reaper harass.
Yeah, but now this is that build we were talking about earlier. The
greedy Terran build.
Yeah, the greedy Terran super fast third CC, and this is something we didn't see last game. Iaguz favoring, like, the drop play, going for the early medevacs, whereas this is sort of your economic Terran macro build. But I'm a little confused by that because, I generally think of Zergs as loving these giant maps, and I've even heard a few Terrans complain about getting Frost. I mean, it's not cross spawns, but...
Well, he's probably got a plan for this. Like, this is a best of 3. He's down 1. Both of these players are well matched. Like, they're very equal in skill.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm wrong in that, someone tell me.
No, you're right.
Okay, good. I thought so. But everybody's allowed to disagree. So he has to win this if he wants to continue on. So that bunker finishes just in time to force the lings back.
Yep, no damage will be done with those.
Now, do you take the position that is closer to the Zerg or the position that is north of where your main is?
I think that really comes down to how aggressive you plan on being. Like, we've seen in the past Terrans favoring to, like, take this type of base because they're going for a parade pushed style, but that's kind of not the type of play we're seeing in Legacy anymore. So maybe go for the northern, further away one. Because the thing with going for those parade pushes is, like, you're defending while you're attacking, and it's really effective with that type of thing. But with more of a drop focus play, maybe go for the north one. What would you say?
I would agree with if it depends how aggressive you want to be, and generally, if you're going to be aggressive, you pick the base that's closer because you're attacking and defending it at the same time.
Exactly.
So we have a siege tank coming out, which we didn't see any of in the last game.
That's true, yeah. So maybe Iaguz looking to hunker down a little bit. I mean, I know siege tanks are a lot less immobile now that we're getting into God, what am I saying there? Now that we're in Legacy of the Void, where you can just pick them up,
Well,
there's
that the third base position that the Zerg took. You can, like, get your tank close enough, but almost, like, right here, right around there, and still hit.
Still shell at this mineral line. Yeah, and funnily enough, KingK0ng even recognizing that, setting up that Overlord over top just in case you want to get the vision of it. And with the increased queen range against Aerie, you might be able to to pick at the medevac that's providing vision and microing that tank around.
Even going for that safety spore. KingK0ng not messing around. Doesn't want to lose this game. Just wants to take Iaguz out, real quick. And I'm guessing we're going to see... I'm going to say Infestors. Because we have the Roach Warren. And I'm guessing we're going to have Roach Ravager. No. Infestor Ravager.
Infestor Ravager, probably with some roaches.
Yeah. Roaches too.
We'll give you that one. There's at least going to be roaches to start it. But yeah, that does look like the playstyle, and it's that Rush Hive build that we were talking about on the quick break between games.
These games move so fast now.
Yeah, the pacing of Legacy is just insane sometimes. Great for the viewer experience. Now, do either of them have does Iaguz have a fourth on the way? I don't think so, right? I suppose he could just pick up his third when need be, but...
Well, what we've been seeing a lot of is the main being picked up.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Pick up his main.
That queen's so close. And I'm not sure what the story is with that medevac is.
Oh!
But it wasn't a good one.
No, that story was not great.
Landed Viking harass. That's not something you see every day.
It's been a while since we've seen a good landed Viking harass.
Although I do remember one of the very first games I played years ago, I got landed Viking harass and I just lost because I didn't know what to do.
It'll happen. You're like, oh, this is an air unit. Why am I having to deal with it on the ground? But the Viking does go down.
And there's a drop coming in. Right behind it, looks like we have a couple Marines. I'm guessing a Widow Mine and maybe some Marauders. No Widow Mine? Darn.
No Widow Mine. Was a Widow Mine drop earlier, but it was taken out with relative ease. And so is this drop. I'm going to get 2 queens, though, so that is nice.
But we're in this spot where you can bounce between 2 bases, making it very difficult to defend from. Although a lot of these units are really low, even that one medevac is quite low.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Almost lost all of that, but saved. Oh, okay.
Single Marine actually didn't get to focus down any additional units, but was being quite annoying, demanding a bit more attention from KingK0ng. And there are so many creep tumors in this scan. That's actually a huge deal. They're not the active tumors, but still, like, that entire area needs to get creeped up.
Hey, man. Didn't they already build it? KingK0ng already built an infestation kit? Or was it just building for that long?
No, he definitely had one.
Okay.
Okay, well,
no big deal.
And just in case you want to get Neuroparasite. Oh.
That's a great connection.
And Pathogen Glands. But yeah, here's that Ultralisk Rush. So not getting the range upgrades anymore, just going for the Carapace and the Melee.
Nice connections with the Bile and the Fungals. Like, some of those units didn't even get Fungal and still got hit by the Bile, which generally you don't see that happening. Iaguz is in a lot of trouble now. His unit is just getting devoured by this Zerg army.
Oh.
Widowmine kills 2 roaches.
It's a pretty nice Widowmine hit, all things considered, but I'm not sure if it really matters. I mean, KingK0ng's not going to push in here. Like, when your Ultralisk Cavern is 95% done, you don't try and kill them, right? You just you make Ultralisks. You go for the get more ahead mantra.
Pathogen Glands and Chitinous Plating on the way, as well as 4 Ultralisk. And that's really gonna clean up this bio army.
Yeah, and I mean 4 Ultras is really all you need, especially if you can land a Fungal. Like, if you don't run away from Ultras, then you just lose your stuff.
The Fungal on medevac. That was nice, cleaning it up. But that was that spot again, where it's so close between 2 bases, it can be hard to defend it. Now, KingK0ng has a ton of minerals.
You really don't want to run those Ravagers into the bio, though. You need to have you need to have some sort of shield for them. You got these Lings here, nice zoning with the Biles, but you don't want to go into that choke.
No, not with the siege tanks there, even though they're not sieged right now.
And not with Ultralisk in general. Like, you can fit one Ultralisk through that. And single file Ultras, like, you can say whatever you want about how Ultras are imbalanced with 1 billion armor. But, you know, single file, not gonna work.
Okay, here we go. Nice fungal on the northern part of Iaguz's army. But the siege tanks are really helping out there with that extra damage.
Oh, but the counterattack. Counterattack gonna get a lot of SCV kills here. There's nothing there to defend.
Another great fungal. And a lot of these medevacs are really low energy, so none of those units were really healing up. And GG, KingK0ng takes the series.
Yep. Series goes to KingK0ng 2-0, yeah. Very well played. Very well played.
That's time.